Have you ever stopped to wonder, could I be doing things that quietly push people away without even realizing it? As we grow older, we naturally settle into habits. Some are comforting, even wise, but some can turn into blind spots. You might feel like you're just being yourself, but here's the hard truth. People around you notice. And even if they don't say a word, these small habits can slowly change how family, friends, and even strangers see you. In this video, we're going to uncover 10 surprising things that you might be doing in your later years. Things that everyone notices, but no one has the heart to tell you. And no, I'm not talking about how you look. I'm talking about the little behaviors that can quietly wear down your dignity, isolate you from the people you love, and chip away at the respect you've built over a lifetime. But don't worry, this isn't about blaming or shaming. It's about gently holding up a mirror and asking, is this habit helping me or is it hurting me? And here's the good news. Almost every single one of these habits is completely fixable. The first step is just becoming aware. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch for, and you'll walk away with simple ways to bring more confidence, more clarity, and more grace into your everyday life. Stay with me until the end, because just a few small changes could make a huge difference in how others feel around you, and even more importantly, how you feel about yourself. Let's get started. Number 1, neglecting personal hygiene. This is one of the first things people notice, but almost no one will ever tell you. And I'm not talking about anything extreme. It's the small things. Clothes that look like they've been worn a few days too long, hair that's gone unbrushed, fingernails that get just a little too long, or a faint odor that lingers after you leave the room. These little signs may seem harmless, but they speak loudly. Hygiene isn't just about being clean. It's about how we show up in the world. When we're younger, taking care of ourselves is second nature. But as we get older, energy can fade. Routines can slip. And it's easy to think, does it even matter anymore? The answer is, yes, it does. Because even if no one says a word, the people around you feel the difference. Younger family members especially won't know how to bring it up. They'll just quietly adjust. They might sit a little farther away. They might shorten their visit. They might even stop offering hugs. But the truth is, it's not you they're pulling away from. It's the silent message your self-care is sending. When you stop taking care of yourself, without meaning to, you might signal that you've given up a little. And here's the hard part no one talks about. When you stop valuing yourself, others unconsciously start to treat you differently too. Less warmth, less closeness, less respect. Now what? Don't worry. You don't need to dress like a fashion model or bathe in perfume. Just a clean shirt, brushed hair, trimmed nails. These simple touches say something powerful. I'm still here. I still care. I still respect myself. And you. People respond to your energy before they respond to your words. And good hygiene quietly sends the best kind of energy, one that invites kindness, dignity, and deeper connection. And that is a message worth sending every single day. Number 2, speaking without a filter. As we get older, something sneaky can happen without us even noticing. The little voice inside, the one that used to whisper, maybe don't say that out loud, starts to fade away. And before we know it, we're speaking our mind more freely, sometimes even proudly, thinking, I've earned the right to say whatever I want. But here's the hidden danger. While that honesty might feel liberating to you, it can feel uncomfortable to everyone else. There's a thin line between being honest and being too blunt. And if you start noticing people shifting in their chairs, avoiding eye contact, or ending conversations a little too soon, it might be a sign that your words are landing harder than you realize. Maybe you've made a quick comment about someone's weight, their appearance, their parenting, and brushed it off with a laugh. I'm just being honest. Or back in my day, people weren't so sensitive. But here's the truth. Honesty without kindness feels like criticism, and people rarely tell you when it hurts. They just slowly step back. They stop inviting you to gatherings. They keep their phone calls short, not because they don't love you, but because they're trying to protect their hearts. Now listen, this doesn't mean you have to walk on eggshells or hide who you are. It simply means pausing for a moment and asking yourself, is what I'm about to say helpful? Is it kind? Because often what feels like speaking your truth might just be releasing old frustrations. And those words can cut deeper than you ever intended. A simple rule to live by. If you wouldn't want someone saying it to your grandchild, maybe don't say it to someone else's. The beauty of growing older is the deep well of wisdom you carry. And when you wrap that wisdom in kindness, people lean in, they listen, they respect you more. But if your words start to sound sharp or judgmental, they tune out, and you lose the connection that matters most. Your words are still powerful, maybe even more powerful now. Use them to build bridges, not walls. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on the bell. Your support helps us keep making content that lifts you up and keeps you growing. Number 3, wearing clothes that don't fit anymore. It happens so slowly, you might not even notice. That favorite shirt that once fit just right now hangs a little too loose. Or those old jeans. They squeeze in all the wrong places. Maybe the styles you loved 20 years ago are now quietly telling a different story, one you didn't mean to send. Here's the thing. The way your clothes fit isn't just about style, it's about how connected you are to today. Outdated, ill-fitting clothes can whisper a message you'd never say out loud. I've stopped paying attention. And while no one will ever tell you to your face, trust me, they notice. Now, I'm not saying you need to chase every new fashion trend or dress like you're 25 again. Not at all. This is about dignity, not vanity. When people see you in clothes that fit well, that look cared for, they don't just see a sharp dresser. They see someone who is still proud, still present, still shining. Think about it. If you were heading to an important event today, would you wear the same outfit you wore decades ago? Probably not. Life changes. Our bodies change. Our energy evolves. Updating your wardrobe, even just a little, sends a quiet but powerful message. I'm still here. I'm still worth it. I've heard some folks say, who cares what others think? I'm comfortable, and that's important. But remember, being comfortable doesn't mean giving up. You can be relaxed and still show the world that you value yourself. Sometimes just a new, better-fitting pair of jeans or a shirt that lights up your face can completely change the way people treat you. And here's the beautiful part. You won't need to fish for compliments. The smiles will come naturally. The conversations will linger longer. People will feel your energy, and they'll want to be near it. Because like it or not, the way we show up still matters. And you, my friend, deserve to be seen at your best. Number 4, interrupting or dominating conversations. Let's be honest. After a lifetime of experiences, wisdom, and hard-earned lessons, you've got a lot to say. And you should be heard. But here's a quiet danger many of us don't notice. In the excitement to share, to help, to guide, sometimes we jump in too soon. We interrupt. We steer the conversation. We take over without meaning to. It might start innocently. Someone mentions a problem you faced before, and bam, you're off telling the story, giving advice, filling up the space. And while you're speaking from the heart, there's something important happening around you. People are slowly pulling away. They won't tell you outright. They'll just start calling less. Conversations will get shorter. And before you know it, the connection starts to fade. And you're left wondering what went wrong. You see, people, especially younger ones, don't just want advice. They want to feel heard. They want a chance to find their own voice, their own path, with you right there by their side, not towering over them. It's not about saying less. It's about listening more, letting there be those quiet, powerful pauses, asking more questions than you answer, holding back your advice until they ask for it, And here's the magic. When you give others space to open up, they'll want your wisdom even more. They'll trust you more. They'll look forward to talking with you, not brace themselves for it. So next time you're chatting with a friend, a grandchild, even a stranger, just ask yourself, am I truly listening or just waiting for my turn to speak? This tiny shift in awareness can breathe new life into your relationships, because when people feel heard, they feel seen, and when they feel seen, they stay close. Number 5, complaining about kids these days. It usually starts small. You see a teenager glued to their phone and think, back in my day, we actually talked to each other. You hear someone young make a choice you don't agree with and feel a little spark of frustration. They just don't get how the real world works. At first it feels harmless. A comment here, a sigh there. But without even realizing it, these little judgments start slipping out into conversations with friends, family, even strangers. Here's the thing you need to know. When you constantly criticize younger generations, even casually, it sends a strong and often painful message. It tells the people around you, especially your kids and grandkids, that you're stuck in the past and that you're not really interested in understanding their world. And here's a hard truth. Every generation thinks the one after them is missing something. That's nothing new. But when criticism becomes the norm, it doesn't make people see you as wise. It makes them see you as bitter. Even if you meant it as a joke, it can sound like rejection. The heartbreaking result? They stop opening up. They keep things surface level. They avoid real conversations because they're quietly bracing for judgment. Even when they love you, they start holding parts of themselves back. Now, that doesn't mean you have to agree with everything you see today. You don't have to jump on every trend. But it does mean choosing curiosity over criticism. Instead of saying, these kids have it easy, try asking, what's it like trying to build a life in today's world? That one simple shift opens doors instead of closing them. It shows that you're not shouting from behind. You're reaching across generations. You become not just an elder, but a trusted guide. Someone they seek out, not someone they tiptoe around. Real influence doesn't come from lecturing. It comes from listening first, then sharing wisdom. And when you do that, something beautiful happens. They come closer. They trust you more. They value your voice, not because you demand it, but because you've earned it. So if this message resonates with you and you're still watching, I'd love for you to comment number 5 below, so I know you're here, growing with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. It truly helps us keep creating content that informs, inspires, and uplifts you. Number 6, ignoring modern etiquette. There's a kind of social awareness most people don't even notice until it's missing. Things like speaking loudly on your phone in public, standing a little too close in line, or playing a video without headphones in a waiting room. Small behaviors, right? But today they make a big difference in how others see you. Decades ago, people were more forgiving about loud conversations or little disruptions, but times change. Expectations shift. What once seemed harmless can now make people feel quietly uncomfortable. And here's the tricky part. You might not even realize it's happening. No one taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, could you lower your voice? Instead, they just look away, move to another seat, or pull out their phones to avoid you. It's not personal, but it is real. And whether it's in a coffee shop, a grocery store, or waiting at the doctor's office, these tiny slips in modern etiquette send a loud message. I'm not aware of how I affect others. And sadly, the world often judges older adults even faster. They don't think maybe they didn't realize. They think they just don't care. But here's the good news. This is one of the easiest things to fix. All it takes is paying a little more attention. Notice how people around you behave, how they keep their voices low in public spaces, how they manage personal space, how they use technology quietly when others are nearby. Modern etiquette isn't about being stiff or uptight. It's about being considerate. It's about showing the world, I'm still tuned in, I still care, I'm still someone who respects others. And you know what? That small awareness changes everything. It builds silent respect from strangers. It builds quiet admiration from family. Grandkids notice. Neighbors notice. Everyone notices. Because in a world that's rushing faster and faster, someone who moves with awareness, with subtle dignity, stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. And that's the kind of presence people never forget. Number 7, oversharing medical problems. We've all been there, gathering with friends or family, and somehow the conversation always shifts to who's dealing with what ailment. The bad knee, the high blood pressure, the latest medication. At first, it feels like a way to bond, to relate. But here's the truth. When every conversation turns into a list of medical complaints, it can start to drain the energy of those around you. Yes, we all know getting older brings challenges. There's no shame in that. But when your health issues start to dominate every talk, it can leave others feeling like they're trapped in a waiting room, waiting for the next problem, the next appointment, the next procedure. Especially for younger family members, it can become overwhelming. They want to help, but they don't always know how. So instead of staying close, they pull away. Not because they don't care, but because they feel helpless. And here's the kicker. You deserve empathy, but when the conversation is always about your health struggles, it can shift the dynamic. What started as a connection can feel more like a one-sided caregiving exchange. You don't want to become a source of exhaustion, right? Now think about the people who make you feel good. Are they the ones who focus on their aches and pains? Or the ones who talk about life beyond the doctor's office? The ones who might mention a challenge but then focus on what's going well, what they're still excited about. Does this mean you should hide your struggles? Of course not. But try balancing the conversation. Ask how others are doing. Share a fun story, a favorite memory, or something that made you smile today. People want to connect with you, not just with your list of health problems. It's all about balance. When you focus on what you can do, what still brings joy, you not only lighten your own heart, you brighten the day of those around you. In a world that can feel heavy, you have the power to be the one who lifts others up. That is the real medicine. Number 8, being stubborn about outdated beliefs. As we get older, there's one thing that can be hard to spot in ourselves. When our long-held beliefs start becoming walls instead of windows. These are the ideas and principles that once helped us build our lives, how we raised our families, ran our businesses, and made sense of the world. But over time, if we're not careful, those beliefs can solidify into hard truths that no longer fit the world we live in today. You might catch yourself saying things like, "That's just how it is," or "People are too sensitive these days," or even, "I don't care what the science says, I know what's right." It feels comforting to hold firm in these views, but to others it often comes across as resistance. The world has changed, and it's still changing. Technology, culture, gender roles, mental health awareness, how we communicate, it's all evolving quickly. And when we dig our heels in, refusing to even consider another perspective, it doesn't come off as wisdom. It comes across as unwillingness. Younger generations notice this. They may not confront you about it, but quietly, they begin to see you as someone they can't talk to about certain things. Someone who doesn't want to understand. Someone who's closed off. And that's a loss. Whether it's your grandchild questioning traditional careers or your neighbor living in a way you don't fully understand, there's so much connection to be had when curiosity replaces judgment. Now, staying open doesn't mean you have to abandon your values. It just means you're willing to update your understanding without compromising who you are. It means making room for new ideas, even if you don't agree with all of them. Stubbornness often hides fear. Fear of losing relevance, fear of being left behind, fear that letting go of old beliefs means losing a piece of yourself. But here's the truth. Your relevance doesn't come from clinging to the past. It comes from how courageously you meet the present. When you can say, "I never thought of it that way," or "Tell me more about what that means to you," you open doors. And when people feel safe enough to share their thoughts, they walk right through. The best part? Sometimes the younger person you're listening to might just turn out to be right in ways you hadn't imagined. That humility, that willingness to learn, that's what makes people truly admire you. Not because you had all the answers, but because you stayed a student of life, no matter your age. Number 9, walking or moving without awareness of space. As we get older, it's natural for our pace to slow down. Our steps might feel a little less steady, or we may become more cautious, and that's okay. But here's the thing, without realizing it, we sometimes lose awareness of how our movements impact the people around us. You've seen it before. Someone standing in the middle of a grocery aisle, cart sideways, oblivious to the people trying to pass. Or someone stopping suddenly in a busy walkway, lost in thought. Or maybe you're walking with a friend and slowly drifting into the path of oncoming foot traffic. Most of the time, this isn't done out of ill intent. You're simply focused on your task. But to the people around you, especially those rushing or navigating through tight spaces, it feels like friction, like small obstacles that make their day a little harder. And here's the tricky part. People don't usually say anything. They just sigh, walk around you, and carry on. But over time, these little moments can add up in how others see you. They might start thinking of you as the person who's always in the way. They may even avoid situations where they'd have to walk beside you, not because they don't like you, but because it feels like they have to manage you. But let me be clear, slowing down is not the issue. The real issue is awareness. You can move slowly but still be respectful of space. You can pause to read a label and still keep to one side. You can walk carefully while being mindful of the flow around you. This is especially important in places like airports, busy sidewalks, shopping malls, or even church hallways. These are shared spaces, and being aware in them sends a powerful message. You're still paying attention. You still care about how you affect others. In fact, this kind of awareness is a subtle form of grace. It shows that you're not just focused on yourself. You're present, thoughtful, and kind. And here's the truth. Most people don't expect perfection. They're just hoping for a little awareness, a little effort, a little consideration. When you show that, you don't just stand out as someone who's slower. You stand out as someone who is considerate, someone who moves through the world with dignity and a quiet sense of responsibility. And that kind of presence, it's more powerful than you might think. Number 10, making jokes that don't age well. A good sense of humor is one of the best things you can carry with you in old age. It keeps you light, makes others comfortable, and helps ease tension, even in the toughest moments. But here's the truth. Not all humor ages well. Some jokes, especially the ones that got a laugh years ago, can quietly push people away today. You might be joking the way you always have. A little sarcasm here, a teasing remark there, maybe even a comment that plays off old stereotypes or pokes fun at someone's background, appearance, or choices. You might laugh and say, "I'm just messing with you," or "Come on, lighten up." But here's what's changed. The world around you. Today, people are much more sensitive to how words land, especially when they come from someone older. Younger folks in particular are navigating a culture that values inclusion, empathy, and respect for diverse experiences. When a joke feels out of step with those values, it doesn't come across as funny, it comes across as disconnected or even disrespectful. And here's the catch. They probably won't say anything. They'll just laugh politely, then keep their distance. You might feel that distance and wonder where it came from. Now, that doesn't mean you have to walk on eggshells. Humor is still wonderful and still necessary, but it does mean thinking before you speak. Ask yourself, is this funny because it's clever or because it puts someone down? The best kind of humor, especially as we age, is the kind that lifts people up. It brings lightness, not discomfort. It shows that you're not stuck in the past, but evolving with the times. And here's something powerful. Nothing builds connection faster than being able to laugh at yourself. It shows humility. It shows perspective. It shows you're not trying to prove anything. You're just here to enjoy the moment with others. When people see that, they relax. They engage. They start seeing you not just as the older person in the room, but as someone who still gets it. A kind sense of humor will take you far, but humor that's thoughtful, self-aware, and a little updated for today, that keeps the door to connection wide open at any age.